All right, let's dive into a really powerful ancient text, the Bhagavad Gita, and see what it has to say to us right here, right now. This isn't just some old historical document. It's really a manual for living, and it's set on a battlefield that obviously is a perfect mirror for the conflicts we all feel inside.
And that's the thing. This isn't just an ancient story about some guy from the past. The whole point is that it's central conflict. Well, it's one we all face. The questions that totally paralyzed its hero, Arjuna, 5,000 years ago, they're the exact same ones that challenge us in our modern lives.
So yeah, the Gita opens on a literal battlefield, but the real war it's talking about, that's the one against the questions that challenge our own lives. Why am I here? What's the point of all this striving? And how do I ever feel whole? The Gita doesn't shy away from these. It confronts them head on.
Okay, so before we can really get into the Gita solutions, we have to understand the problem at its very core. And it all kicks off with our hero, Arjuna. He's this legendary, unbeatable warrior who is, at this moment, on the verge of a complete and total breakdown.
Now, what's so important to get here is that he wasn't afraid of dying. Not at all. This guy was a master warrior who had seen countless battles. What absolutely terrified him was the idea of fighting his own family. His teachers, his grandfathers, his cousins were all on the other side. His core values were just shattering against his duty as a warrior.
And here, the Gita gives us a name for the real enemy. It's not the army standing in front of Arjuna. It's these deep-seated patterns of fear and doubt and confusion inside of him. They're called root patterns. Think of them like these unconscious scripts, usually formed when we're young, that just keep running our lives and holding us back.
So in response to this epic crisis, Arjuna's guide, Krishna, doesn't just give him a pep talk or a battle plan. No, he offers something way more profound. A fundamental truth about who Arjuna actually is. A truth that completely reframes the entire problem.
And this is the first big teaching. It's a radical shift in identity. Krishna tells Arjuna, listen, you are not your body. That thing is temporary. You are not your mind, with all its worries that come and go. Your true self, what's called the Atman, is eternal. It's indestructible. It literally cannot be harmed.
I mean, what a brilliant way to put it, right? This one metaphor just reframes everything. Death isn't some terrifying final end. It's presented as a simple, natural change, like taking off an old shirt you've outgrown and putting on a new one. The essence of who you are just keeps going, completely untouched.
Okay, so if you are this eternal, indestructible self, how in the world are you supposed to act in this temporary world? Well, the Gita proposes what it calls a technology of action, a really practical framework for living a life of freedom. Now, the core of this whole technology is built on 4 key principles, or tactives. It all starts with integrity, the power of your word. That then leads to authenticity in your thinking. And from that place, you can build responsibility for your feelings, which ultimately lets you live a life of enriching others. It's like a toolkit for enlightened action.
And this whole philosophy of action has a name: karma yoga. The key here, and this is a big one, is to do your work, whatever it is, to the absolute peak of your ability, but with complete detachment from the results. It doesn't matter if you succeed or fail. The action itself, when you do it with this kind of awareness, becomes your path to freedom. So this all leads to the ultimate goal of this technology. It's a state called completion. This is the actual science of using those 4 tattvas and karma yoga to face and finally resolve those inner conflicts, those root patterns that are causing all our suffering. See, you don't just ignore them. You consciously complete their cycle.
And when you start living this way, it naturally leads to a bigger, more profound idea. This feeling of trust in a larger cosmic intelligence. Instead of constantly fighting and struggling against the flow of life.
There's this incredible analogy from the ancient Upanishads that just captures this idea perfectly. It's the story of 2 birds sitting on a tree, and it really represents the choice that we have in every single moment of our lives. So here's this fundamental choice. We can be like that first bird, right? Frantically chasing after the fruits of life, the successes, the pleasures, and getting trapped in that endless cycle of feeling happy, then sad, happy, then sad. Or we can choose to be the second bird, the calm, fulfilled witness, just enjoying our own inner peace no matter what chaos is happening on the branches below.
This path, the path of that second bird, it's really the difference between responding to life and just reacting to it. When you feel responsible for your own inner state, you can respond with thought and with wisdom. But when you feel like you're not responsible, you just react. You get triggered by whatever life throws at you.
So as you can see, the Gita's battlefield, it's not just some place in a history book. It's a powerful, timeless metaphor for the war that's happening inside our own minds every single day. The text is basically inviting you to stop seeing this as a story about somebody else. It wants you to see it as a direct dialogue with you. You are Arjuna, facing your own unique battles, and the wisdom of the Gita is right there, ready to be your guide. So let's just quickly recap this whole path to liberation we've just walked through. It starts by figuring out the real problem, our own root patterns. From there, we use these amazing tools like karma yoga, the 4 tattvas, and the science of completion to find true freedom from within. And look, if there is one single core message to take away from all of this, it's this. The limiting beliefs you have about yourself, that self-doubt, that self-hatred, that feeling of not being enough, they feel so real, I know, but they are not the ultimate reality of who you are. And so, the Gita leaves us with this final challenge. It asks us to look at our own struggles not as some fixed destiny, but as a battlefield of opportunity. It's asking us to recognize that, just like Arjuna, we have the guidance and we have the tools to drop our feeling of powerlessness and to consciously write a brand new, victorious future for ourselves.